Welcome to this overview of NICE's Automation Studio. Automation Studio is a single web page application which runs through Chrome. Its user-friendly canvas and drag-and-drop functionality make it an intuitive and easy-to-use development environment. The continuous delivery model means that new features and functions are introduced frequently. Let's take a look. On the left-hand side of the canvas, we have the Asset panel. Built-in services are the first branch of assets. This is a wide-ranging collection of functions and events. Functions which let you perform everyday tasks such as numerical calculations and text manipulation. They let you check information from the user's machine, such as if the desktop is idle and which applications are running. And they let you perform actions on a range of applications and documents, such as MS Office and PDF documents. Online help is available for each function and is accessed from the Asset panel. The Common Statement Asset branch holds the logic framework needed to create robust solutions, statements such as if-then clauses and for each loops. The other assets listed provide the tools and structure to build your solutions. I'll start with reviewing screen elements. I'm going to capture the Google search box through Microsoft Edge. Screen elements tie the solution to other applications. For example, if data is needed to be collected from a CRM or a billing system, screen elements tie together the automation with those fields. You'll see that after the element is captured, Studio automatically creates functions, properties, and events specific to that element type. Next, I'll look at variables. For variables, you can create a simple variable, such as text or a number. Alternatively, you can draw from a wide range of built-in complex variables, such as JSON object or XML element. And these come with embedded functions and features key to using these data types. For our example today, I'm going to create a simple text variable. I'll name this copied text. And you can see the simple variable types, but I'm just going to use text. Next, I'm going to create a callout. Callouts are the basis for desktop automation. With Studio, we have the most advanced callout engine with an easy-to-use interface. I can create my callout without using any HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. I start by adjusting the body of my callout. I've changed the title, size, and where it will show on the screen. I can easily change the background and the skin, but I'll leave those as simple white. Now, I'll add NEVA to my callout. I'm going to make the image a bit smaller. I'll also add a margin all the way around the image. All the style parameters I need are available in the right-hand panel. Next, I'm going to add a label to my callout. First, I'm going to change where it sits within my callout. And then I'm going to change the font and the color of my text. And then I'm going to add a button. Again, I can easily change where this position is positioned within the callout. I'll place this in the bottom right corner. I'll also increase the size of the button to 110 by 40. Now keep in mind, the Style panel includes many other options for formatting the buttons and all the other options. For simplicity, I'm just using a small selection of these. And finally, I'm going to change the text within my button to close. Now under the button control actions, I can define what I want to happen when my button is clicked. In this case, my button is going to close the callout. Next, I'm going to set up my workflow. Now it's easy to create a new workflow from the Asset panel. On the canvas, we continue using the drag and drop functionality. I can drag and drop steps into the workflow and drag and drop functionality into those steps. This step is going to include 3 actions. First, I'll assign the text in the clipboard into the variable I created. Next, I'll assign that variable into the field label on my callout. And lastly, I'll show my callout. Now we're going to look at user-defined functions. User-defined functions let you put together a series of actions which you may want to use repeatedly. In this case, I'm just going to do a very simple one, and that's going to be, I'm going to clear out my variable. I'm now going to create another step within my workflow to clear the variable, and I'm going to drag and drop my user-defined function into that step. Now I'm just going to connect my different steps together. And I'm going to add a breakpoint onto each one, so when we look at the debugging function. Now lastly, I'm going to create an event handler. Now what my event handler is going to look for is it's going to look for a change on my clipboard. So if I copy text onto my clipboard, then it's going to trigger this event handler. And what I want to happen is I'm going to start my workflow. So every time I copy text, it's going to update my variable, and it's also going to update my callout and show me my callout. So as we start the solution, we'll see that we automatically go into debug mode. You'll see on the left-hand side, we can see all of the elements within our solution. So our variables, our screen elements, our callouts, workflow, and event handlers. Now looking at my variable, I can see that that's currently empty. So I'm going to trigger my workflow by copying the text data collections on the screen. So I'll just hit copy. That adds it to my clipboard, and that triggers my automation. So we see that the automation of the workflow has started and that it's already stopped on the first step where we have the breakpoint. The breakpoint will stop the flow before performing the actions in that step. When we hit continue, the data from the clipboard will be added to our variable and to the callout, and the callout will then show. And there it is. I can close the callout with the button, and when we hit continue on the debugger a second time, our variable is cleared. We can trigger this again by copying the text event handler from the screen. We can remove the breakpoints from the workflow steps and let the process flow through a few times. First time, copying the word paused. Next, copying variables. And finally, copying screen elements. We have invested a lot to make the onboarding process as easy and as simple as possible. First, to register to use Studio, you just need to go to the Automation Studio trial version page and register. Then we have a self-paced online training course. The course covers all basic functionality. It's offered free of charge through the Nice Dojo. And when a user has finished with the self-paced course, they will receive a Studio Associate certification. Now, when you're working within Studio, a user can access the Studio Help Center directly from the tool. There, we have an extensive amount of help on every feature. In the Studio Help Center, we also have Getting Started videos, the video gallery with many videos on a range of features. We also have a What's New section to keep on track of new features that we are adding. And lastly, you can use the community forum for even more knowledge and information.